Micro wind turbine is a small turbine of a rating of 200 watt peak to maybe up to 50 kilowatt peak. Typically in India, most of the small wind turbines are less than 10 kilowatt as a capacity. But when you talk about the wind turbine capacity, it is different from solar because the wind turbine has a cubical relationship with the rotor diameter and the wind speed. That means the wind energy produced from a wind turbine uh, is a relationship of the size of the rotor and the wind speed, and in the cubical form. So higher the wind speed, higher the rotor diameter, higher is the energy produced, which is not the case with solar. Solar is more like a linear uh, relationship, and at some point of time, solar tapers off. And most importantly, solar stops producing when there is no sunlight or irradiation. So it does make sense to combine wind and solar wherever it is possible. And micro wind turbine or small wind turbine is very effective and proven technology. However, the challenge has been the cost. The cost of wind turbines in India has not come down as the solar cost has come down. In the context of DRE, it's very important. It's a cost sensitive market. So when we began the business of manufacturing wind turbines about 10 years back, um, we were on par with solar. The cost of wind turbine, if you exclude the cost of battery and inverter, was about 100 rupee per watt, and so was solar. But over these years, the solar has come down by one fourth or maybe even one fifth. But the wind turbine hasn't come down so much. The wind remains a bit expensive, mostly because two reasons. One is there are expensive metals inside the wind turbine. Number one is copper. There's a hell of a lot of copper winding inside, and it also has permanent magnet, which has a rare metal, and uh, and then the second reason is the volume. Only when there is a scale, the cost will come down. So it's a catch 22. But it is possible to bring down. Innovations are quite feasible in wind turbines also to bring down the cost. So if there is a wind in any place in India, which is adequate to charge the battery, which is called the cut-in wind speed. So typically about 4 meters per second is called the cut-in wind speed, a reasonable cut-in wind speed. Although there are wind turbine manufacturers who would say even 2.6 meters per second is adequate to charge the battery. But 4 meters per second is a guideline, a good guideline. So there are a number of places in India. I can tell you there are about 10,000 locations in India that we have surveyed which have cut-in wind speed of more than 4 meters per second. It does make sense to have wind-solar hybrid for DRE applications like, let's say, microgrid. So if you have a source of generation which is both day and night, the solar works through the day, and then in the night the wind takes over, or throughout the day and night the wind is there on and off to supply to the load, and hence you don't need to have a bigger battery pack. So water pumping, microgrids, even EV charging, electric vehicle charging in rural areas, charging the e-rickshaws. So these are some of the applications that we have tried in the past, and the wind solar hybrid is very effective. But as I said, the cost is a challenge. I do hope that number of attempts are being made in India. I do hope that the cost will come down and we'll see volumes. But this is a very interesting thing happening in India right now. And we have close to 100 installations of hybrid systems, mostly for rural banks, schools, a little bit for one or two microgrids, and the water pumping also. So I just want to share this with you, and I hope you found this useful, and feel free to ask me if you have any questions. Thank you.